All right, welcome to another episode of the Machete Masterclass. So today, as you can see, the topic is going to be 3 supplements you should be taking for fat loss. So what supplements to take to accelerate fat loss? So obviously, in the fitness industry, there is a huge business in the supplement business, right? And sometimes, in my opinion, too much like superpowers are given to supplements. So my job as a coach for my clients and for anyone that follows me is to create clarity and discerning those wrong informations with the good information, so to provide the best possible service and the best possible information. So what supplements should you be taking to maximize or to accelerate fat loss? So this is going to be the topic of today's. So before we start, we got to remember that supplements can only account for 3 to 5% of the total results. Okay? Hence why the focus should be on nutrition first. So in another call, I was going into what actually makes a difference when it comes down to fat loss or to general like body composition. And when you want to change your body, what are the things that you need, that you should be looking at? And obviously, I would say number one is consistency. Whatever you do, you just need to be consistent. And then obviously, nutrition is fundamental, okay? So especially when it comes down to fat loss, nutrition is where it's at. Supplements are not going to make difference, are going to make, again, between a 3 to 5% difference, which, it can give an edge, it can give a help, but if you do that alone, it won't make a difference, okay? Let's say 50% is nutrition, okay? So that's what you should focus on first. So therefore, the key to effective fat loss is roll drum, calorie deficit, okay? Calorie deficit is the number one key factor for fat loss and for weight loss. Actually, let's say calorie deficit is what matters for weight loss. But if we're talking about effective fat loss, we're talking about weight loss while maintaining as much muscles as possible, okay? Because we want to lose as much fat as possible, not necessarily as much weight as possible. And this is actually going to be the key of this call. So, what number one supplement are we going to look at? And just remember what I just said, yeah? So, protein powder and essential amino acids. So, as we spoke above, maintaining muscles is key for an effective fat loss. And to maintain muscles, we need a constant flow of amino acids in the bloodstream. Okay? So, will take protein powder and essential amino acids help you with the fat loss? No, that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that if you want to be effective with your fat loss, which means losing as much fat as possible while maintaining muscles, or in some cases even increasing muscle mass, it can be done, right? So having another way protein intake is fundamental, right? And that's what most people will lack when when I start nutrition with a new client. Normally their protein intake is not high, not high enough. Yeah, it's not enough, right? It's not what it should be. So especially if we're cutting down the calories, we're in a calorie deficit, we want to make sure that we give enough protein for our muscles to stay, right? So here's a protein powder and essential amino acids. Why? Because keep in mind that protein powders have calories, okay? They will contribute into your calorie intake. So if you're, let's say, taking 10 protein shakes a day, you might be going over with your calories, and therefore you're not getting the calorie deficit, which is fundamental to lose weight and to lose fat. So obviously, keep that in mind when you take proteins, right? They need to fit into your daily calorie and macros intake. And that's also why, I really like to take essential amino acids because, you know, essential amino acids have virtually no calories because they are already, they are protein, but already broke down. So your body doesn't have to break it down. So they have basically, virtually no calories, right? And obviously, the best time to take them would be during a workout or in periods where you're gonna go without a meal. So if you know that you're gonna be, let's say, maybe 3 hours or more without a meal, that would be a good time for you to have essential amino acids, which are much better than BCAAs, which are branched chain amino acids, because essential amino acids is basically what it says on the tin. They are essential amino acids, so they will have the whole spectrum of amino acids that you need, the same that you will get from the protein powder, but again, they're already digested, so they don't have calories, and they will help maintain the muscles, especially under during training where your muscle will tend to break down to then get repaired. So again, this won't actually help you to lose fat per se, but will help you to maintain as much muscle as possible while losing fat. That's why I'm including this into a fat loss supplement. So number 2, any supplement that will support an healthy hormone levels. Okay, so this will include the normal stack I would recommend, right? Why? Because if the hormones are not in place, fat loss is going to be an uphill battle. Okay, hormones are often overlooked but are a very important part of the equation. And yes, calorie in, calories out, but again, if your hormones are not in place, then it would be very hard to get those calories in, calories out, because hormones can, mess you up, right? It would be hard for you to stick to a diet if, for example, like stress hormone is up, right? It would be hard to lose fat and maintain muscle if your cortisol is up. So all these things are very important. And let me tell you something. For example, study have shown that if you miss sleep for a night or multiple nights, basically um, a lack of sleep will influence your cravings, your hunger, right? And you will be less likely to adhere to your plan. So it's not necessarily that, again, yes, calories in, calories out, but you will be less likely to stick to the plan. If you don't sleep, you will have less energy to go to the gym. Maybe you don't want to go to the gym. If you do go to the gym, you will have a very bad session, right? So that's why it's important, for us to look after our hormones. Now, I don't want to scare anyone. Just make sure, you keep it in a healthy level. So for me, supplements that support your hormones are supplements that can help aid into your fat loss, especially because when you go into fat loss, not necessarily, and obviously we don't want to go into an extreme fat loss or for extremely prolonged, but when you do go into a fat loss, your metabolism slows down and your hormones might take a hit, okay? Um, Especially if it's prolonged or if it's very aggressive fat loss. So, it's a good time for us to have extra care. Although, I will recommend this supplement stack regardless, even if you were not trying to lose fat, right? And, this includes vitamin D, which has been shown that, people that has healthy levels of vitamin D will lose more weight, will lose more fat when they do a diet, when they're trying to lose weight, compared to who doesn't have healthy levels of vitamin D. Omega 3s, again, fatty acids that will help to reduce inflammation. And again, has been shown that people that take some omega 3s will more likely to lose more fat compared to people that doesn't take omega 3s. So I don't want to leave that to the chance. And zinc and magnesium are a good, healthy sleep and hormonal support stack. So that's something I would definitely take, because better sleep give you a better chance to lose fat, build muscles, and just, live a better life. So this is my second supplement for maximizing fat loss. So as you can see, 2 out of 3, I'm actually not giving you anything that will make you lose fat. Why? Because there is actually no supplement that will make you lose fat. I need to be honest with you guys, there is not. So we're just looking at a way to support your fat loss and also support your muscle retention or muscle gain, right? Again, I want to be honest with you. I'm not selling you snake oil here. But this last one, it's something that, can be a little bit controversial, but I'm going to give you my take on it. Fat burners, right? So I said fat burners, but in reality, there is no such a thing as a fat burner, right? There is no supplement that would make you burn fat. If there was, I would put this in, number 1. Maybe there can be something, there might be some illegal supplement that make you lose fat. I don't know, maybe. But let me tell you, so there is no such a thing as a fat burner. But when you drop your calories, anything that can boost your energy can be handy, right? And, I experienced this when I did my photo shoot, where, my calories were really low. And, I was looking forward my caffeine, right? To boost my energy. Sometimes, that can be the only thing that's kind of, let me switch the lights on, then it's just going to drag you through the day. So, that's reason number 1 why a fat burner, which, is mainly caffeine, can be helpful just to give you more energy when you're actually getting less energy from food. Makes sense, right? Also, most of them, most of fat burners, which are actually like a category, a very, huge category into the, the supplement industry, they call it fat burners. Most of them suppress hunger, right? And appetite, which again comes helpful because, if you're eating very little and, you're going to be hungry. And if you can take a supplement that is going to reduce your hunger, your appetite, dieting can become easier, right? So, again, will they make you lose fat? No, but maybe if you eat a little bit less or they give you more energy so you can eat less and have more energy and crack on with your day, it's a helpful thing to take, right? So fat burners, what are they really? So, formulas can vary, but the main one, so the main ingredient in fat burner is caffeine. So caffeine, for me, it can be classified as a fat burner per se, because it would be anyway the main ingredient. So, do you have to take fat burners? No. But, drinking coffee or taking caffeine can be, again, can give you the energy that you need, can suppress hunger. For example, I currently, and I did in the past, and I know my clients do, intermittent fasting. So for example, if you do that thing, having a coffee in the morning, kind of, will suppress the hunger and you can go until lunch without eating. It kind of makes it easy. It's not fundamental, but again, it gives you a little bit of energy and it will suppress the appetite. So, all things that might be helpful. Some of them, again, they have lots of different formulations. Most of them will include green tea and other like plants extract, that seem to be helpful to lose fat. But again, nothing will make you lose fat. Maybe something, maybe for example, I know the L-carnitine is meant to help you to process fats. So basically, it kind of tell your body to uses fats for energy rather than carbs, stuff like that. So that can all be helpful. Again, it's not magic, right? It's not magic. And you won't necessarily lose fat because you take these fat burners. But if you are in a calorie deficit, this can help. Okay, can help you to give energy and suppress appetite, and maybe some of these plants, some of these extracts might give you a little edge, maybe like a 1-2%, let's say. So here we go. We've reached the end of the call. What's the bottom line? So guys, remember, none of the above will work unless you are in a calorie deficit to start with, okay? So don't even think about, again, those supplements that I gave, that I talked about, is actually something that you can take straight away and you should take, and you can take it even if your goal is not fat loss. Let's be honest. But don't think about taking a supplement, taking a fat burner, and for that reason you're gonna start losing fat. No, don't place any superpower on supplements ever, ever. Okay, fat loss, muscle building, whatever. Don't place superpower on supplements. Think of supplements. Think of these as something that can support and supplement your nutrition. Nothing more. This is it. So this is the bottom line. Remember, nutrition is the number one thing you should look at. Training, of course, and consistency. And if you're looking to get a little edge when it comes down to effective fat loss, then essential amino acids, protein powders, or in general, like having an adequate protein intake, and supplements that supports hormonal levels, and then maybe some fat burners, mainly caffeine, can be helpful. But again, it's not magic, so don't put too much hope and don't rely on this stuff. Thank you for watching, guys. As usual, if you got any question, comment below, reach out to me. I'm here to help and to share as much knowledge as I can to educate you and to give you clarity on the right path for you to lose fat forever and be a best version of yourself.